Hello, cats and kittens. This video is, I can't say unexpected, but I wasn't expecting to make this video today. I've just gotten a call, or rather a text message from my son's school asking me if I could come in a half hour to talk about my son, but they said it's nothing to worry about. So I said, yes, that's fine. I mean, I usually get there early anyway and spend time at the cafe nearby, but I can go straight there. But then I texted back, is there a hint as to what it is? Because I don't want to be unnecessarily anxious. I suffer very badly with anxiety. And it's something I have lived with my whole life. So I have coping strategies, but when it comes to my son, and I'm sure this is true for just about every mother, you feel a sudden sense of, I know you've said not to worry, but you know, what's going on, you know, when you think about your child. The preschool manager called and said that she'd been doing assessments with the staff and that they had gone over Cole's file. And when I went over it a few weeks ago, his social development was not filled in. I noticed they had done some very typical, you know, autism type activities with my son. I had expressed that I had noticed some very common autism traits in my son, and I made a note of that in the communication book, which of course no one reads, but they did go in and see if I'd made any notes, and I had made a lengthy note about my concern and how I would like to make an appointment at some point, but it's just been, I've been sick, so I hadn't made one anyhow. But we do want to talk about his social development. It's hard to name the sensation that I'm feeling right now. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard to name the dread. Now, I feel emotional because I had told one of the preschool teachers, and I cover this in another video, but I had great difficulties as a child in special education classes, even though I didn't have any sort of diagnosis. And I was held back a year in school, and I was treated very badly. And Cole and I are so much alike that I just get concerned that he will suffer the way that I did, and I use the word, I don't use the word suffering lightly. You know, it is, bullying is a very painful thing, and it stays with you. I was bullied for many years, and not just made fun of or taunted, I mean physically assaulted. I was beaten up quite a lot, and had years, say from about kindergarten all the way up until I dropped out of school. I'm a very intelligent woman, and I dropped out of school my junior year because I could not take the pressure or the abuse anymore. And my son is so smart. I don't want him to come to a point where, as much as he loves to learn and as much as he loves to try to engage with others, that others don't understand him or know how to engage with him, and that it forces him to make a similar decision. I will always regret that I left school. I will always regret and feel like a failure because I didn't somehow find that inner strength and I couldn't do it. Now, I am happy to have this conversation because I'm not concerned, because I don't think that anything that's going on with him makes him different. I don't consider any of his personality traits bad or wrong or to be discouraged in society. I think that people like my son and I, and other people who are very different, we all have beautiful and unique gifts. I think every person has beautiful and unique gifts, but what he has to offer the world in the future is worth offering. So I'm not concerned that anyone will want to say he needs to learn to be different. He needs to change his who he is to fit social norms. I guess in a way I have an opportunity to put right something that went very wrong for me. My mother was asked when I was in 3rd grade to take me to a child psychologist, I think it was, to be assessed. So I might have found out at, you know, I don't know, 8 years old if I was on the autism spectrum, and I never did. And I suffered years of abuse, and I have suffered a lot of social issues that I think people don't realize are social issues for me. But when you have no choice to cope, you cope. And so for me, this if it requires assessments for my son, I'll do anything because he's so happy and he's so bright, and I don't want that light to be stolen. So please know, even if your child is different, doesn't seem to be like the other children, thinks very differently, is very intelligent, or maybe your child is not does not speak, or your child speaks very differently, please know that these children grow up to be exceptional people. And even if these people are quiet or considered strange, I always say that we all have our own gifts. We all have our strengths and our weaknesses. And some people's are just not what you expect, but that doesn't make them wrong or bad. I know that some types of behavior or speech can be annoying, but at the same time, I don't ever want to get upset or lose my temper or anything like that, because I realize he is communicating with me, he's engaging with me. I just hope that, I know that things will be okay, and I know that I love my son more than anything in the world, so I know it's all going to be okay. So I think for all of us, really this is just me spouting my feelings, but it's also me really telling you why I feel like we need to treat each other with decency and respect and love, because we are not all the same, but our differences, I really don't want our differences to set us so far apart that we can't have compassion for one another. So thank you for listening, because I needed somebody to talk to be honest. Thanks so much, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye. Cole, did you line up those chairs?
Yeah, I think so.
You did. What happens if Mommy moves the blue chair?
And I do this. I can.
Where?
There's a red chair.
There's a red chair.
And a blue chair. And a blue chair.
Are you going to put the yellow chair in the house? No? What happens if we move the chairs around? Do you want Mommy, if Mommy moves the chairs, will that make you upset?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Line up the chairs. Yeah. I can line up the chairs. I can line up the chairs. I can line up the chairs again. I can do this. I can do, and I line up the.
So we lined them up horizontally before, and now we're lining them up a different way.
From a zigzag.
You're going to line them up in a zigzag?
Wow, there's the sink.